What's up guys, Anders here with another video. We're going to be taking a look at the tradition for Ranger or succession for Ranger, whatever they end up calling it. It just came out on test server, so we're going to be taking a look at it. I've just really very briefly looked at the skills, so we're kind of going to go over it each one and see if they're good or not as a Ranger player. So again, if you don't know what tradition is, it's essentially a skill tree that you can choose to use and lock your awakening. So you can't use your awakening skills if you end up using tradition, and you also can't use your absolute skills if you have tradition skills of the same one. So just keep that in mind. You won't be able to actually take the absolute of charging wind if you are using the tradition charging wind. That's pretty much it. So as a Ranger, what do we want from a tradition kit? Well, we don't really need a lot more damage. Ranger's pretty good on damage. We need more protection and maybe that'll be nice, a reliable iframe. That'd be great. So what do we get? This is our steroid buff. If you are an awakened class, you get this. So as a tradition class, you also get this. It gives you attack speed plus 30%, critical hit rate, movement speed, evasion rate, accuracy rate, a pretty good one. There is no AP increase, but I think that's not really an issue. Rangers at high AP above 261 will shred anything, so I don't think you really need that extra AP boost, but the attack speed and crit rate buffs are really nice. Now this I believe says stamina plus 300. It was translated to endurance plus 300, so I'm guessing they mean stamina, so 300 more stamina. It could be something else, I'm not sure, but this is basically the passive. The other passive you get is more ranged AP, so that's always nice. And in terms of skills, we get this skill right here. It's pretty much the same as the pre-awakened skill. Honestly, nothing too exciting to talk about there. Here's what it looks like. There you go. Very exciting. Yep. So it has a forward guard on attack, obviously, but you're just standing. You're obviously not going to be using this anywhere near enemies or players. So the down E is pretty much the same, just more damage. Honestly, has a bleeding effect. This is what it looks like. Yeah, these tradition skills have a bit more particle effects, so you can kind of see what they look like. Now, this skill is pretty much just the same as our pre-awakened skill, but it just does a ton more damage. So this is the absolute of penetrating wind, 1388 by 4 with a 100% crit rate. That's pretty decent skill. Now it does 1688 by 4 with a 100% crit rate. Knockdown is unfortunately only PvE. You're going to be noticing something as we go through these, that the CCs are still only PvE. So we're asking for at least one ranged or more ranged CC, so we can kind of be on par with Archer in that regard. But we got a knockback CC. That's something. But we've already had that. And charging wind is super armor while charging. Again, the CCs are PvE only, but this is what it looks like. Yeah, not super flashy, I think, compared to the warrior, but that's what you get. And now this skill, the Q skill, this is interesting actually. Obviously it has a knockdown, so that's good to know. I mean, it always had a knockdown. But the ultimate form, if you get the ultimate form in pre-awaken, you get the same skill, but it has super armor and a knockdown. So we actually get protected range CC. Is it good? Well, I mean, it's not bad, I have to say. It's not bad. Also, with that tradition skill, you can now Q sidestep without having to do the combination. It's just automatic. So just press A, D, and just left click, and there you go. Obviously you won't get the knockdown if it's on cooldown, but kind of like the wing strike for Archer. You do a lot more damage now in your auto attacks on the side. And obviously shotgun is still here. Again, some knockdown only in PvE, unfortunately. So there you go. Knockdown. Shotgun has especially nice nice effect if you want to blind your enemies as you're killing them. But really nothing super special. It does more damage, which is great, so that's going to be nice. But in terms of changing the way you're playing Ranger, I don't think it really does anything to do that. Our iframe is pretty much the same, honestly. There you go, just a bit more damage and more particle effects. I should have a lower cooldown, I think, too, right? No, it's the same. I don't know why I thought this was 9 seconds. Yeah, it's still 12 seconds. Unfortunate. Yeah, stiffness on PvP, but we've had that before. Ascending currents. This is just the ultimate form of it. So when you use ascending current, there you go. That's what it looks like. It does more damage. But again, damage is split, and it does less damage the more enemies there are. If you can tell by the tone of my voice how impressed I am with this kit, not very. Not very. So in the tradition skill, we also get these 2 skills that are sort of the taken from the awakening kit, and they're given to us. And this is basically a copy pasta of regeneration and tremble. Regeneration, obviously without the BSR 50%, has no super armor, but it still has a knockdown. It still does decent damage, and over here it gives you attack speed plus 10%. And tremble, forward guard, DP down on good hits, stun only in PvE. So it's pretty similar. This is what it looks like as you do it, and this is regeneration on tradition. There you go. Fairly long cooldowns as well, right? 14 and 17, which is actually not that bad, because tremble and regeneration have a much longer cooldown on awakening. So you kind of have more knockdown readily available, but again, it's unprotected. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's interesting, but there's no grab, obviously, in tradition. So you're losing a grab and gaining what? A protected range CC? That's not really something I think is good enough, unfortunately. We'll see. I mean, this is just the first release of it. It's not even live yet, so this is just a test server, but I was expecting way more. We don't need damage. Ranger has damage. What we need is protection, and maybe more range CC and PvP, please, because who cares about PvE ranged CC? That's just my 2 cents, honestly. You know, pretty cool looking effects, I have to say, and I particularly like Ascending Current. It looks really nice, but that's how it goes. Do I think Ranger is going to be OP with this tradition? No. If you play Ranger well now, you're fine in 1v1s. Obviously, she always struggles against group fights because it's so easy to get CC'd. If you have very little protection, you can only do so much. Will that help with this tradition help her in group fights? Not really. I mean, it might help you do more damage from a distance, which is nice, but you're still, I mean, if they have an archer, you're still going to get outranged and out CC'd. So yeah, there's that. That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, they're gonna be, it seems like they're coming out with all these traditions very quickly. Probably see another one. The next one should be Valkyrie or Berserker, and I'll do a video on which other traditions we are set to release, because we already know the set of tradition classes that will be coming. So Warrior got their tradition 2 weeks ago now, or something, or a week and a half ago, and that on mobile, it's called the Gladiator class. So Warrior got their Gladiator tradition. Ranger, I believe, is called the Hunter in the tradition, so it has the Hunter archetype now, and with the tradition skill tree. And there's a bunch more to come. I think Berserker is called the Titan archetype, and then Valkyrie is called the Paladin archetype, and I'll tell you all about the other ones in a separate video for you guys. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think about the tradition of Ranger. Obviously, this is just very limited testing, and I just got on and tried out the tradition kit. I am personally not super impressed with it. It could be okay, but again, losing a grab for what they're giving us is not good enough for me. If you think differently, let me know in the comments down below. I mean, I'm just a scrub after all. So if you like this video, please like and sub. Every sub counts as we continue to grow. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.